So hi Phyllis. Hi Sue. Hi Jeffrey. Hi Renate. Hi Vadios. Hi Raphael. Hey Richard. Yeah, you can call here, but I'm just going to do an introduction first, Richard. Hey Deanna. Hey Conrad. Hi Open Eye Hun. Hey Isabel. Just turn my radiators up more. It's cool. So, So all there is love. That's the nature of all things. And that's all that needs to be seen. So who you truly are is love. Who you truly are is this alive presence that always is. You're not the person or the character that's moving in time. The character appears and disappears in that. You're not the body, you're not your thoughts, you're not your ideas, you're not the feelings, the emotions, the conditions, the beliefs. And yet you're everything that's happening, but you're not limited to one thing. And this teaching or these words aren't about having a guru or worshipping the person that speaks about it, or thinking that the person that speaks about it knows more than you, or using the person that speaks about it as a father or mother figure. It's not something for you. If you leave this talk with something, that's not it. It's seeing that who you are is that which never moves. The way that the seeker works, though, is it takes the conditions of the person, the feelings, the thoughts, the ideas, and it tries to look for that love, that presence in them. And by looking for presence in the thoughts, the feelings, the ideas, the beliefs, the conditions, the outside life, other people, it's always seeking in time to get them and hold on to them. And it suffers because it can never ever achieve what it wants. It can never get there. You will never arrive at something in time. And it's so funny because the speaking of non-duality, or being the speaker of non-duality, has been sort of mixed with this idea of guru. Like the guru speaks about non-duality and it's passed on from teacher to teacher verbally, and that you have a guru and there's this guru figure that passes it on to you. And I'm not against that if that's what manifests. But it's really not about the person that's speaking the words. Because who is that person that you imagine is speaking the words? If you believe that the freedom comes from a thing, then you're going to be hurt by that thing. You've got the possibility of being misled by that thing, because you believe it comes from a thing. And non-duality doesn't come from a thing. So it's the age-old story. You project this perfect guru and then the guru lets you down. It normally sleeps with a young female student. Luckily in my case, if I sleep with a young male, I'm not in trouble as a female speaker, as I'm just actually it most probably makes me more popular as a speaker to an extent, but that's not the point. The point is that you mustn't look for freedom in a thing. So not in a person, not in a guru. It doesn't mean a guru doesn't appear and you don't follow that tradition, but you've got to see that it's life that's taking you home, because who's speaking? Who's speaking out of my mouth? Isn't that so exciting? It's not a person, it's life. Life is speaking to life. Your suffering comes from the idea that someone is speaking to you. And I can have a rebel tendency in my personality, and I love the idea of non-duality, going beyond this guru tradition, and it not being so much about the speaker or nothing. I mean, the speaker's, there's got to be coming out of someone's mouth, but it's seen that it's not about them. You resonate, and you might follow them, and you might listen to them, but you've stopped seeing that the person that's speaking about its behavior has something to do with non-duality. You see that the non-duality is this presence, and that doesn't belong to anyone. Everyone has that presence. Everyone and everything. For sure, I do think that when someone speaks about it from that presence, then there's a resonance with that. And so if someone else that doesn't really understand it, but is just intellectually repeating it, you can tell the difference, or most people can. But it's not about a person. That body is just being used as a vehicle to express it. It's not about a person's behavior. The reason I'm most probably going on about this is because a friend of mine yesterday was sending me these, or sent me these videos of psychology about narcissist characters and codependence and borderline personalities, and I was listening to it, and I do follow psychology to an extent, because I think that that it's a good thing to learn about as a human, to study psychology. I think all humans should study psychology. I study psychology of dogs because I have a dog, and then we're like, psychology of humans? No, I don't need that, I'm a human. I'll study the psychology of my bird or my dog or my rabbit, but when it comes to humans, I think I know I'm a human. And and I think that every human should be made to study psychology. And it's not that psychology is going to fix you. Psychology to me it's like inside the bowl of the human. So if you just look at psychology, you're just going to keep going round and round and round in that bowl. I think it's good because it will make the person more balanced. But in order for there to be real change, I think psychology has to be done simultaneously to listening to non-duality. And that will really help change the person, because there's got to be this bigger message that who you are isn't that person. If you believe you are that person, then you're so attached to the conditions and the belief systems of that person. But it's not about getting to a perfect psychological state at all. Like, the personality structures are all going to have personality structures, and every single one of us, enlightened or not enlightened, awake or not awake, free or not, is going to fall into the categories. And so I was reading about healthy narcissists yesterday and unhealthy narcissists, and listening about it. And you know what? I think a lot of non-duality speakers fall into the category of narcissists. I don't think I fall into that category because I'm an empathy character. You can just tell that I don't fall into that category. A narcissist has different traits than what I do. But I think a lot of the speakers do have narcissist personality. Now, narcissist personality isn't a bad thing. You can have a healthy narcissist. Everyone has a personality category that they fit into. And you can have a narcissist that's proud to be and likes to have their opinion heard and likes to show themselves and likes to be in the public eye and likes to be very social and gets their energy from being with people and sharing with people. And when I was watching it, like, I can see that even with a healthy narcissist speaker, how the people around it still get stuck in the human games with the teacher, and they believe that that's going beyond ego or going beyond self, and that relationship is about you waking up or you becoming enlightened, and that you need that teacher in order to become enlightened. And actually, I don't disagree. Whatever appears is always an opportunity to see beyond yourself, to see that that's not who you are. But I don't believe what people say. Even when I was seeking, and I was a seeker, like, I just used everything that people told me and all the teachers, what they told me, as a way to expose what was untrue in me. But I didn't necessarily believe what the speaker was saying. So if the speaker said, you've got to accept that I'm your guru and you've got to take me as your guru, I just wasn't interested in that part. What I was interested in is how that made me feel and what that did here, whether that evoked a strong resistance or hate. And it wasn't that I took them on as my guru. I just looked to see what was untrue that came up here. Because you can't really have a guru or a teacher. Even though I will speak about my teachers, you can't really have that because life is the teacher. But then I also see that me saying this will really attract narcissistic personalities, because narcissistic personalities would really like that. They're like, oh yes, I am my own teacher. I don't need a teacher. Whereas more like codependent or empathy people, or people that lack confidence, that will make feel afraid, and they will want to have a strong teacher to follow. And the reason that I point this out is that I'm just trying to point out that it's all personalities. So when you go to a speaker, you think, okay, I've found the best speaker there is, or I found the true guru. But actually, it's just that your personality fits with them in some way. And there is something that's beyond that. There's a part of you that hears non-duality that's beyond that. But I can assure you, your thinking mind cannot think about that. Because your thinking mind can only think about you and them. Your thinking mind can only think about how you are in relationship to them. So when you think you found the best teacher because they're going to show you non-duality, that's all in the personal structure. When you're really hearing non-duality, it's beyond all personality structures. It's a remembering of this presence, this love that's here. So in the moment, I'm kind of going between the two. I'm talking about the presence, so there might be an expansion when I'm talking about that. Then I'm also talking to the intellect as well. So I'm also talking to the thinking mind as well that can recognize this. And as the thinking mind recognizes this, it stops seeking in that. So it stops seeking in a teacher that makes it feel secure, or a teacher that makes it feel like it's in control. Because it sees that none of that is it. What is it is this alive presence, this beautiful, radical, alive presence. So when you begin to think that I'm the perfect teacher for you, or that Mooji or Papaji or Gangaji, or what other teachers are there, Adidas is the perfect teacher for you, that's all personality structures. That's not necessarily ego, that's not necessarily seeking, but that's in time, that's in your thoughts. That's what your thoughts say. Non-duality is that which is experiencing the thoughts. And your thoughts are based on your particular conditioning, that body's particular conditioning. So your thoughts they fit with the way that body-mind sees the world. And the way that body-mind sees the world depends on the way it was brought up, the society it was in, the way its parents were, its friends, its genetics. And even though the thoughts are coming from this moment, they will follow a pattern, just like this bush follows the pattern of maintaining its shape as that particular tree. But non-duality is beyond that. Non-duality is that presence in which those thoughts appear and disappear. So to a codependent personality or empathy, or not necessarily an empathy, but for a personality structure that feels insecure, it will look for a strong teacher that says, I am the teacher that will lead you home. I know the way. Follow me and you will become enlightened. It will follow that structure more. But the personality will change. So sometimes it'll be rejecting and it'll be like, no, I don't trust them. And then sometimes it will. But it'll be looking for a strong figure to follow. Maybe actually I am. I'm not a narcissist, but I'm a strong figure to follow. And then you've got the more narcissistic personalities that think they can do it all by themselves and never want to surrender to something. Narcissism or codependent or empathy or all these different personality types aren't a bad thing as long as they're in balance. It's when they're out of balance it becomes a problem. But it doesn't even really matter. I'm not saying that that's good or bad, or you'll find freedom in this. The freedom is seeing that you are that which is beyond it. I'm just trying to expose the personality structures that are seeking in time for freedom. So somebody that's more insecure wants to seek for someone to make it feel safe. But it's always changeable. Like, I'm speaking in general terms. It's not so simple as the way I'm phrasing it. It's a lot more complicated personality structures. That's why there's so many different psychologists and so many different books out there. I'm just basically trying to point you back to your freedom, which is your own essence. The presence in which all the thoughts, the feelings, the world, my voice, everything appears. The mind will always look for freedom in things, in you and I, in right and wrong, in good and bad, in opposites, in someone out there that can save me. And the whole time, there is this presence, this alive presence that's experiencing all, and that's who you are. That's what you are. And psychology is a great thing to invest time in understanding your makeup, the way you are, what you reject, because what happens is the seeker latches onto that and tries to find freedom in it. So if you're insecure, it tries to find freedom and safety. If you feel unloved, it tries to find freedom in being loved. And that's what the seeking energy does. If you have a more narcissistic personality, then it tries to find people that worship it. And none of that's freedom. Your freedom is the alive presence which that comes and goes in. And you know what? I want to totally redefine what it is that people tend to call me, like enlightened or not enlightened, whatever they call me. I don't want to be in that. Like on the human level, because you see, that's so much grandiose. That's so much like, I'm enlightened, you're not. I don't even want to play there. To the narcissist, they'll be like, yes, yes, yes. To the less narcissistic personalities, they'll be like, oh no, I need someone that's enlightened. But I just want, if I'm going to be seen as anything as a speaker, I just want to be seen as a young woman that's incredibly wise, for her age and has explored loads and knows lots of different things in order to have a more happy, balanced life, and she wants to share that with you. And if you've got an open heart, then that sharing could have a beautiful effect. That's all it should be. Screw all this enlightenment stuff and non-enlightenment and guru. On the human level, as a speaker, I just want to be seen as someone that can potentially open your mind up to something different. That's all. Because that's what excites me. And I had this profound realization and seeing, and I'm so happy to share that. And I think that's the way that speaking about this in the West should be more directed, is that we're just sharing. Not this guru thing or teacher thing or enlightened thing. That's the capitalist old-fashioned way. I know it's got a relationship to India, but you know that with the new generations coming up, we've got the possibility to think of a different way of being together. And it doesn't have to be this central figure that we all look up to. But there's so many different possibilities in which we can live and share together. And YouTube and the internet is amazing. It's so amazing that we can share all this free information together. And I'm not saying non-duality is about the information, but there is a part to learning about it. But you can share the presence of what you are. It can be a pointing to that presence. And we stop making it such a personal human thing of guru and traditions. And that really excites me. Because in our culture, particularly Western culture, we're into worshipping personalities. We're into worshipping this perfect figure. So, you know, like in the news, or even with the idea of guru, it's like this perfect figure that never gets angry, that's always happy. So if you compare it to like a Hollywood pop star or something, or they're always projecting that they're this perfect person, always beautiful, always happy, perfect family, look beautiful, have nice things. And then this is the same as the guru. It's the same mentality, that they've always got to be perfect. They're always happy. They look a particular way. We don't need to do that anymore, the worshipping of personality. There's something much greater that we could open our minds to. And as we open our minds to it, then it spreads to other humans. And I think things like YouTube are debunking it. Like YouTube's doing amazing things because people are showing themselves raw. Like there's a YouTube that I've done or a live stream that I've done where I've just started crying in the middle of the live stream, where people are showing themselves more humanely. Like I sit here and I've got a nice background now, but sometimes my background's a bit messy, or I've done it in the bathroom before. With this more intimacy, it's not about grandeur, it's not about this perfect show off, look how good I am, I'm better than. It's humble. Like, why are people doing that? That's all about advertisement and business. You know, this guru with their flowers next to them and their picture next to them and a big religious sign behind them. Why do they do that? In one way, I can see the beauty of it because it's so unpopular and we've got to compete in this society in order for non-duality to be heard. But as the people that are listening to me, you can see beyond that that's not needed anymore. We don't have to to be dripping in gold in order to make non-duality valid. We don't have to have flowers next to us and a huge audience to make this subject valid, or a big religious sign, or lots of gurus. This subject is valid because it touches your heart. Because your heart sings. And at the same time, I'm really not meaning to criticize. In order for me to point this out, it has to seem like I'm criticizing. I'm also really grateful for the teachers that do that, because it actually pushes into the mainstream. By doing that, they push into the mainstream and they make this subject more accessible in the mainstream. And I'm actually super grateful for that as well, because I'm so passionate about this subject. I love it. And I know that in order for humans to change, this subject has to go viral. And then at the same time, I know that more like those personality types that always think they're right will be listening to what I'm saying and thinking that they know better. This isn't about not having humility to someone that knows lots of stuff. Like, have humility to someone that you can recognize that knows more stuff than you, and listen. Like, I'm always looking to see, you know, where I can open, where I can learn, where I can expand of anyone. This isn't about not having humility by debunking the idea of guru. Like, I'm always learning from Khaleesi. I'm always learning from peers, from YouTube. I watch psychology videos to learn more, to expand the mind more. Like, sometimes I think because I debunk it to an extent, and I like things to be really humble, I think that that also can sometimes encourage a mentality of they like that because they want to present themselves as someone that knows better, and somebody that doesn't present themselves as grand isn't so much competition for the person listening. So don't be fooled by yourself. Use everything to explore who you are, what you think, and then ultimately see that none of that is you. Be humble. Humility is such a great gift. Hey, Khaleesi. Hey, Khaleesi. Yeah, Khaleesi is a covert narcissist. No, I'm joking. Convert narcissist, I think, is like the worst of the narcissists. It's funny, all these different. I'm just because I watch these videos, I'm talking about it. Khaleesi is beautiful. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're the beauty. She's the external joy. I can hear the Khaleesi song coming. Khaleesi has a song. She has a couple of songs. But my favourite song currently is about getting her bottom, because I chase her. So when I sing to her, I go, I'm going to get your bot, and she finds this ecstatic fun. She starts running around. I'm going to get your bot. I'm going to get your bot. I am. I'm going to get you. Yes, I am. As I was telling you last week, I've been considering getting Khaleesi a boyfriend, and I've been going through all these different animals, and I've come to the conclusion that a good boyfriend for Khaleesi, I might get her 2 boyfriends so they're not lonely. So 2 male miniature pigs. I feel like Khaleesi would get, I was going to go with goats, but goats can be very loud, and pigs, because they can't come in the house, they'll be in the garden. I feel like pigs would be good because they would stand their ground. They wouldn't listen to any of her nonsense, and they've got that kind of like bulldog energy. We're gonna get you 2 pigs. You gotta have 2 though. You can have 2 boyfriends. Hmm? Hmm? You can have 2 boyfriends. Eh? So it'll be me with Khaleesi and 2 pigs. But we're not decided. I'm also torn with a tortoise as well. Can't quite decide. Tortoise, pigs. Tortoise, pigs. I'm gonna get your bop bop. I'm gonna get your bop. Yes, I am. Okay. So, okay, we'll take some questions now because I've run out of things to say. That was exciting. I love this subject too. It's my favourite topic. It gives me great joy when I express my joy. Ah, nice, Sue. It's the best subject. Hi, Lisa. I'm wondering whether I might go to your Spanish retreat in November. Nice, Keith. Yes, you are very welcome. You're very welcome. And that's to anyone else. That's the only event I've got on for the next few months. Is a retreat in the south of Spain in November. So exactly a month, I think. You can find out more details about that on my website. Okay. Yes, for me, I feel you are a strong figure to follow. In a way, I do feel insecure and I feel somehow safe with you. It's like, to me, you seem to be a good mother who isn't fearful and neurotic like my real mother. God, I really love what you said about just being a wise woman who wants to share. A wise woman. It's funny, isn't it? Like the way everything goes. Because as when I was a child, I used to always think that older women were so attractive, and particularly wise older women. And then that's the way this body followed. You follow what you love. It kept finding out information, and I know I'm not that old yet, but I mean, I'm 37. I mean, imagine what I'm going to be like when I'm 57. I'm going to be like a very wise woman. I'm now just wise. I'll be very, very wise. Like it's such a beautiful thing, I think, an attractive thing. And then that's what life did with me. That's what I followed, was what I loved. And being wise, I'm not saying is better than anything else. I think beyond being a wise person is somebody that has the courage to follow what they love. That's so beautiful. Because love is what we are, so someone that follows what we love is almost like reflecting what you are in the manifest world, is love. I tend to always think I'm right and to find things to disagree with, but you're the only teacher who I hardly ever disagree with, so you'll probably try to say something that I disagree with. What about Khaleesi and her boyfriend? Do you think a pig is a good match? I'm very taken with the idea of a pig. My friends suggested it. It bubbles up wisdom from you. Glad I found you. Oh, hey, it's fun. Nice. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Love the message of even the speaker is not perfect. Bravo, beyond true. It is so beautiful that you give voice to this. Beloved, subversed, iconalistic rebel. Yes, thank you. With pleasure, Isabel. Hi, Laurie. Beautiful talk, Lisa. I feel it so deeply. You've been my guru turned dear friend. And through this process, the deepest humility has risen. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Laurie. Hey, Alango. Hey, Martin. Hi, Lisa. I think that Khaleesi is giving you the slight silent treatment. Yeah, she is often giving me the silent treatment. Aren't you? You're often giving me the silent treatment. She's so... I would show you, but... Oh, okay, I can show you. I'm always concerned about... everything collapsing, but I haven't got a very complicated camera set up. Hello? You giving me the silent treatment? Huh? Is it Bob? We can get you a boyfriend. We get you a boyfriend. I'm gonna get your butt. I'm gonna get your butt. Yeah. Is it Bob? We giving me the silent treatment. Oh, I know what she wants. I haven't given her dinner yet. She's gonna get up and bark at me now. The same thing happens every day, but today she lasted a bit longer. She had such a big dinner last night. She's gonna come round. She'll come round and bark at me. Love routine. Hey Lisa, I think that Khaleesi... Oh yeah, yep, I've read that one. Hi Lisa, so sorry I couldn't hear your talk today. Gaddy from Oxford. Oh hi Gaddy, nice to hear from you. Wanted to say something and then a question if I may. Sure. Okay, I'll just move on while you write, Gaddy. And then I'll come back to you. Chris, hey Chris, dear Lisa, thank you for sharing. I see your empathy. No way I see you overly dominant. I feel you sensitive, very sweet and gentle, very much. I am a girl, but I admire your beauty, the outside face and the body beauty as well as your inside. Ideal woman for everyone. And the truth thing you came to. Wow, how not to be in love. Oh, thanks Chris, that was beautiful. I can feel I'm gonna cry tonight, like, out of beauty. I just feel so much beauty. So I can feel it's gonna come. You know, it wells up. Nope, okay, it's past. Is there some way you can let Khaleesi choose her own boyfriend if you just arrange Jade dates for her? Yeah, I would do that, I think, as well. I will go meet, because it would be a rescue animal, whatever I get, so we can go and meet them before. Yeah. If Khaleesi picked a boyfriend, though, she loves, like, bulldogs. She's going to pick, like, a pit bull, a Rottweiler. She loves the bulldogs. She's got a boyfriend, somebody else owns it, but in town. And he's like a cross American bulldog, I think, and she's just in love. Anything, I can tell if there's some sort of dog with the bulldogs in it, she's like, she loves the butch guys, and she's so feminine and petite and elegant, and she likes these dogs. It's funny. Okay. Hi Lisa, anything to say about having an open mind? I think that, that's crucial to this subject, because this subject isn't about the person getting enlightened. So it's not that the person that has an open mind gets enlightened, but that person has to open like a lotus flower, in the sense that it has to go beyond what it's been taught by society and what it's been conditioned to believe, and what its genetics are. It's got to be open to keep looking beyond what it believes, to see that it's none of that. But if it keeps in its limited beliefs, it's not going to question beyond that and see that who you are is the presence in which your beliefs, your conditions, your body, your ideas appear and disappear in. So I feel like I was quite, I don't know if it's genetic or what it is, but I have a mind that is always open to questioning. So I don't see anything as fact. I don't believe you can never say anything factual. There's nothing that's fact in my mind. And I think I always had an openness to seeing that there was nothing that was true. I think that psychologically that also lent, like when I was identified, that led me to be naive and insecure. I didn't know how to process that feeling of not knowing what was true, but I think there was also a beautiful part of me that could see that there couldn't be something that was true. So therefore I always was open for questioning, and I enjoyed something that challenged me and which I could see beyond. I enjoyed that. And because I had that quality, then it inevitably led me to, well, there must be something beyond everything that circles in life. And what is it that's beyond everything that circles in life? And what I mean that circles in life, I mean like birth, learning, knowledge, understanding, reproducing, having a life, enjoyments, pleasures, your body, and then dying. There must be something beyond that structure and that structure of our thinking. There must be something greater than that. Because where does all of this come from? How does all of this appear? And some people never have that ability to keep questioning. They're happy with the answer that it comes from a God that lives in a heaven and he's yellow and with a beard and he produced everything and you have to live a life like this, and that's not wrong. But I do feel like then they'll always be separate, because they'll always believe they're separate from God and that they've got to get back to God's love, which is separate from them. Whereas because I kept questioning, then it's finally like, okay, so what's in the experience which never moves? What's here? What's always here and everything else comes and goes in it? And that's the divine. And that's not separate from anything. The looker, the hearer, the experiencer, the sense of being is not separate from anything. It's everywhere and everything. Your feelings might feel like they come in the body, and the mind might interpret that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the looking, the consciousness, the perception, and the sense of being, the sense of I am, is not limited. The experiencer, that which is always present, is not limited. Everything appears in the experiencer and is the experiencer. And the body and the thoughts and the ideas and the feelings all come and go in that. And I've never been that. You've never been that limitation. Life is looking through these instruments at the moment. So in another way, you could say, I am Lisa. But you're also not Lisa. You're not who you are. Like consciousness is using this vehicle in order to experience itself. So in one way, you are the personality, like on the functioning in the world level you are, but ultimately who you are is beyond that. It's nothing and it's everything. It's not a thing and it's everything. It's miraculous. Okay, Getty. Hi Lisa, your words and all you say is true. We don't need gurus, we only need wise women like you. Hi Raphael. So this is from Gaddy. So I feel that I understand the love in life, which is not a feeling. So understand is not the right word for it. It's more sense that love, it's more sensing that love and wants to express itself. It's just its nature, and it feels and seems so understandable when you in a place of silence and rest. So I'd like to say thank you very much. And the question is, oh, that's beautiful, Gaddy. And the love is existence. The love is the existence side. There's the emptiness, which is the experiencer, that empty looking, and they're one and the same thing. And then it has this sense of existence, and that's total love, the sense of existence. So Nisargadatta Maharaj put it nicely. To know I am love is everything. To know I'm everything, sorry, wrong way around. To know I'm everything is love. To know I'm nothing is wisdom, and in between my life resides. And the question is, could you please talk about the stillness a bit? So, okay. Okay. So you've got the So who we truly are is a mystery. It's actually beyond consciousness and beyond the sense of I am. Those are the first two qualities it creates. But actually the nothingness, so what they would say in Buddhism is the void, the emptiness, is actually a total and utter mystery as to what that creative force is. Nothingness does not mean this void or nothing that we imagine. It's not a thing. Therefore, we cannot think about nothingness. So if you imagine a black hole, that's not it. That's an imagination. The first things it has to create in order to experience this reality is consciousness and the sense of existence, the sense that this is. And in one way, in order to create the consciousness and the sense of existence, it also simultaneously has to create a body to look through and a world to look at. So actually none of these things are separated out, but when you're speaking about it, you separate it out. And actually really the consciousness is in the appearances. The consciousness is appearing with the appearances. So is the sense of existence, the sense of I am. And these two things you could look at as like a bridge between the nothing and the everything. The other thing that's needed is a body, a vehicle to look through. But the vehicle is dead, it's not alive. It doesn't register, it doesn't have consciousness, it doesn't have a sense of existence. But it's looked through, the vehicle, this body, but it's not alive. It looks like it's alive because it's moving, but that's what we as humans in our intellect define as alive. That's not actually what is alive. The alive is that conscious presence that's here now, that sense of existence. The movement of the body doesn't imply aliveness. Scientists actually can't find in the cells what life and death is. We can say, okay, the body dies when it stops breathing or when the brain stops, but actually the cells are still moving. So actually you can't ever find life and death in this existence. But we define it as when the body stops moving or when the brain stops or the breathing stops. But that's just our definition. What's actually alive and experiencing itself is this conscious presence, and this conscious presence is not a thing. And that not thing, that no thing, is actually everything. And everything is appearing from that no thing. So, everything also isn't. And that which isn't is also everything. So on one side of life, everything is still and not happening. And on the other side of life, it's happening and moving. And that's who you truly are, is this existence. There's also non-existence. And the consciousness in the I am is more a teaching technique in which comes from Advaita, which comes from India, and it's a teaching technique to actually point to beyond the personal self, and it's a very convenient teaching technique for the person to be able to see that it isn't that person, and then there's an opening in that person to see that who you are is this live conscious presence that's not a thing and everything. So everything is still. It's not you that's still, it's everything that's still. Everything is non-existing, and everything and non-existence is existing simultaneously. Everything appears from this no place and disappears into this no place and is this no place. Everywhere you look is God, is that mysterious force. A person has all this existential problems because it created this belief that I'm alive, and then it believes I'm going to die. And then it has this existential crisis and believes that it has to have a life that's happy and purposeful and meaningful. And these words are relative on the human level, but they're not relative to the absolute, to the existential. The existential is beyond that. So in the relative human life, it's important to talk and think about happiness and to create a happy life and to have meaning. But ultimately, there is no meaning that we can define in our thoughts or in what we think. Ultimately, life is happening because it's happening, and it's way beyond our comprehension. But the person has this existential crisis because it believes it can actually find the meaning of life and in a thing and in an idea and in a concept. And it keeps struggling to find the meaning of life, and it beats itself up because it can't find it. And it looks to the meaning of life, to production, to producing something. So most people think that the meaning of life is creating something that's meaningful. But it's like the human puts the human ideas onto the existential. It puts the human need to survive and want to survive on the existential. So it's like, okay, my meaning in life is to produce something meaningful, and that's my big meaning in life, which is just, it's like Khaleesi believing the meaning in life is finding the perfect bone or building the perfect bone. It's like a bit silly. Most humans believe that the meaning of life is to produce something. But that's not the meaning of life. That's just what we have to do as humans in order to survive in this world. The meaning in life is actually in the happening. It's in life itself. It's in the magic of this, because this is totally and utterly magical. Look at it. Look at all this. We don't know why it's happening. And as we take off our intellect from it and we see that we don't know the meaning of this life, we don't know why it happens. We don't know why gold is gold. We don't know why the wind blows. We can have so many theories, but ultimately we don't know. And that mystery is home. That mystery is our nature. That awe is our nature. That childlike wonder is our nature. Wow. Thanks, Gaddy, for your question. We don't know why we speak. We don't know why we see. But yet in the intimacy of it, it's total and utter love, and it's totally complete. I'm gonna get your bot. 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 It's amazing that such a wise woman can produce such incredibly stupid songs. Such a contradiction is this life. I'm gonna get your bot. I'm gonna get your bot. Yes, I am. She loves it. Look at you. Look at you. Somebody wants their din-dins. Somebody wants their din. Here it comes. Here it comes. I'm not getting the silent treatment anymore. Woof. Woof. So it's just, she just wants her dinner. That's it. Hey, Julie. Can presence be experienced without senses? Its experience of presence is beyond the senses. Well, presence is beyond everything, but it needs a body with senses in order to experience this life. So actually presence is found in sensation. But actually presence isn't sensation. It's not limited to sensation. There could be another form with different sensations. It just needs something to experience through. So actually, in a way, you could say, like, presence is found in the intimacy of experiencing on the human level. So the intimacy of that sensation. When you actually get to that sensation, you also see that there is no limit to that sensation. It's not definable, it's not a thing. It's infinite space, and sensing is everywhere in everything. You can say it in so many infinitely different ways, this message. And your mind, if you've got that sort of mind that likes to argue things, it will circle round on which one's the most true or which one's the right, which will lead you home. And none of that matters, because here it is right now, in this. I'm gonna get your butt. I'm gonna get your butt. I love you. You're so beautiful. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Hi, Lisa. Monandi from Malaysia. Hi, Monandi from Malaysia. I'm Lisa from London. Hey, Ilango. Ilango from India. Thanks, Lisa. I'm going to be with your answer for a few years. Hi, Nisargadatta M. I find myself crying for no reason several times a week. I can cry, seeing leaves with no wither. I can cry seeing leaves wither on the road. Is this normal in relationship to that I hear a lot of non-dual teachers speak? Yeah, more than likely, it's a recognition of your own beauty. But also sometimes when the brain is changing, so when the person and the thinking is changing, and when there's an opening, there can be a lot of shifts from crying to laughter. Like it's like an effect that happens as the brain changes. It's almost like, you know how laughter is the way that we often find humor is that we laugh at something which debunks what we expect to happen. So it's like we expect one thing and the humor comes from it being something different. And it's like the thoughts, when they can't be produced in the way that they're normally produced, when they're seen through, it's almost can produce that same sort of effect of laughter or crying. It can't go its normal routes. It doesn't go its normal way of thinking. Thank you from my heart for the introduction. It can be so easy on this process to seek safety or love in a teacher, especially as we seem to have the tendencies to shift from presence to the person and back, and we feel lost and weak sometimes. So words are very easily misunderstood. For example, I was sure you were intending to buy Khaleesi a male dog friend because of the meaning of the word boyfriend in my mind. The pigs were a big surprise in opening my mind to how we understand messages from the mind perspective. I mean, it would be a rational thing to think that I would buy her a boyfriend. I would but dogs are pack animals. They accept humans as part of their pack. They can also accept pigs. They can accept anything. Hey, Khaleesi? Look at those creepy eyes, Khaleesi. Khaleesi! Wow, that's cool. No. Okay. H, you switched off the live chat on your YouTube channel. Thanks for your live chat. Yeah, I'd love to switch it off, but YouTube have a fault. So don't thank me for it. It's on because of YouTube's fault. There's a fault on the iPad version. So it'll be gone as soon as they fix that bug. Okay guys, I'm gonna go now. Thanks for all your messages and questions. I send you lots of love. So you can tune in again on Wednesday at 6 p.m. French time. So thanks guys, lots of love. Bye.